You know what's funny about buying your comic book grail is that you would think that once you get it, you would feel satiated with your hunger for comic books. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's just not true. You just end up buying more. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys a couple books that I recently picked up because, hey, I guess spending $3,000 on my grail wasn't enough for me and I couldn't help myself. And I had to go back to a comic book store recently this last weekend and I ended up picking a few other books that I think are really, really cool. But before I get into the books for today, if you guys could drop me a like or a comment or subscribe if you're enjoying the content, help support the channel, do one of those things, and I would appreciate it. All right, with that said, I have a few books here that I want to show off to you guys, and a few that I'm actually very, very excited to share because there's one in particular in this group that I actually had on my Christmas wish list for 2021. So I was able to find this book and check it off the list. And now I'm here to share it with you guys here today. So let's get into the books. And again, let's start, with the one that I'm cryptically talking about here. But the book that I managed to get that was on my Christmas wish list for 2021 is in fact A Journey into Mystery number 98. And what is the significance of this? Well, this is the first appearance of the human Cobra, who would later go on to be King Cobra, who would join and lead at a time be the leader of the Serpent Society. Klaus Voorhees is his character's name. But this is just one of those books that, I always wanted this one. I'm a big fan of the Journey into Mystery, the Thor stuff. Just overall, I feel like pound for pound, I think this run has some of the best covers of any run there is in comic books. And for that reason, this one right here, number 98, first appearance of King Cobra, was one of those ones that I really, really wanted to get my hands on. Because again, I talk about it all the time. I'm a huge fan of the Serpent Society. And it's my little side goal to have all their first appearances. So I was super happy that I found this one. Definitely a respectable price. I was able to find this for $75. When I went to pick up my Avengers Grail, I actually had popped over to one other shop. I know, guys. I mean, we're addicted to this stuff. I popped over into one other store, and I was flipping through the Journey into Mystery bins, and finally came across this one. I've been looking for this one for a long time. I had always considered purchasing this off of eBay, but the prices were just not where I wanted them to be. For me, I just could never find the right book. But I ended up getting what to me is this is a beautiful copy. I mean, it presents beautifully. There's barely any color breaks on the front here. So I would say that this is, maybe it's going to be like a 6, maybe I would say, maybe like a 5 or a 5.5. So very excited I was able to find that book. All right, the next one I got here is another one that I was able to sort of come across, not one that I had ever been really hunting or looking for, but I had done a series with Bryce Comics. I'm sure you guys are familiar, where we talked about undervalued second appearances. Well, this is a book that I would sort of nominate. Maybe if I do another video with him and we do another second appearances thing, I might consider bringing this book up. But this one here is Tales to Astonish number 45. And what is the significance of this? This is the second appearance of the Wasp. This is also the second appearance of a villain known as Egghead. Now, I'm actually not sure if that's Egghead here on the cover. I think it is, but he doesn't look like the Egghead we know. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with the look of the character Egghead. He's been in a lot of Avengers comic books. But for that reason, this is a double second appearance book. I mean, it's a pretty rare thing to find where you have 2 second appearances of 2 characters in the book. So Tales to Astonish, number 45, definitely a book that I feel like is super undervalued. I was able to find this one for $40. So definitely a really good deal overall. Of course, one of the things you'll see up here, there's a big chunk missing right here at the top with the tails but overall, presentation wise, the cover, the colors are beautiful. Very few color breaks. You just had this one big chunk missing up there. So definitely a low grade because of that. But I was really happy to find this. And for $40, I felt like that was totally worth it. So Tales to Astonish, 45, second Wasp, second Egghead. I'm going to continue to show off my comic book haul in a second, but before we do, let's take a minute to talk about Key Collector app. What is Key Collector app? Well, Key Collector app is an app that allows you to find hot and key comic books just in the palm of your hand. So let's say you're thinking to yourself, what are some other undervalued second appearances that I can find for characters that I like? Well, you could download Key Collector app and search characters like the Wasp, and you would find out that her second appearance is actually in Tales to Astonish number 45. And you too could find, great undervalued second appearances when you're out there hunting. And the best part about Key Collector app is that it's actually free to use, but there is a premium subscription service. And if you use my promo code SWAGGLEHOSS, which you see there on the screen, you will get early access to hot keys, dollar bin dives, and other spec books that you may want to know about when you're out there hunting. So definitely use my promo code SWAGGLEHOSS, get access to that premium subscription service, and definitely check it out. All right, let's go on now to something a little more spec oriented. This is one that I was always looking for because you guys know me. I love the show Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and anytime there's a character that shows up in that show, I'm looking for their first appearance. So this one right here, The Incredible Hulk 254, first appearance of the UFOs. There you see right there on the cover. So who are the UFOs? Well, the UFOs are basically like the villain Fantastic Four. Like I don't know too much about their story, but the leader of their group, it was his supposition that he was able to think about the conditions that the Fantastic Four got their powers in, with like the cosmic rays of the sun or whatever when they were in a spaceship. So it was his supposition that if he flew his spaceship with his team in those same kind of conditions, he would be able to give himself powers, and he was right. So he flew up there, and they created this sort of like villainous Fantastic Four team, and their first appearance is in this book, in The Incredible Hulk. And of course, this team made an appearance in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and for that reason, I thought I'd pick it up. Do I believe that the UFOs are going to show up anytime soon in the MCU? No, absolutely not. But this is one that I still think is pretty cool. Bronze Age book, first appearance of a group of villains that are like B tier, but hey, those are the type of books I really love. All right, this next one here is a book that I talked about in a sleeper spec book video that I did last week. Of course, this wasn't necessarily one of my picks, but I did refer to this book. This one right here is Uncanny XMen number 176. And what is the significance of this? This is actually the first appearance of a character known as Valerie Cooper. Now, Valerie Cooper has many ties to being significant within Marvel comic books throughout the history of Marvel comics. But the most noteworthy things that she did is she was actually one of the people who spearheaded John Walker as being the new Captain America. And then the other sort of significant thing she did was she created the team known as the Freedom Force. And for those who don't know, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants got turned into the Freedom Force, and they were a governmental agency, kind of like the Thunderbolts, where they would hunt down mutants that were causing problems. So she was kind of like a radical, very anti-mutant character. And one thing that got me interested in this book recently was because, with Contessa Fontaine coming into the MCU, and just thinking about her storyline and how she, they kind of made her the person that was like pushing the John Walker or getting the John Walker character to be the U.S. agent character. Well, that was really more in context to the Val Cooper storyline. And that got me thinking, like, maybe where they're going with Contessa Fontaine is maybe she's going to create sort of a Freedom Force type of group or organization, since they're already pulling storylines from Val Cooper. So that was something that was really interesting to me. So for that reason, I wanted to get my hands on this book. Again, it was like a back issue bin thing, a couple dollars. I thought it was worth a pickup. So yeah, Uncanny X-Men 176. All right, I got a couple more books here. Speaking of Contessa Fontaine, I got Secret Warriors number 2. And what is the significance of this? This is the first Contessa Fontaine as Madam Hydra. Now, in this run, Secret Warriors number 6, I believe, is the one that has been sort of the hottest book selling recently. That's where Contessa Fontaine reveals herself to be Madam Hydra. But this is actually the first appearance of her as the character. So this one is really interesting to me. Again, another book that, I'll probably move on with as it gets hot in this market. I mean, this book is also hot compared to the number 6 one, but one that I found for just a couple dollars in a back bin. So definitely, if you're out hunting there, definitely go swing by the Secret Warrior section and see if you can get one of those books. All right. Next book I got here, this one is pretty cool. Not too crazy, but pretty cool nonetheless. Something I feel like is undervalued. And talk about undervalued second appearances. This is Miss Marvel number 2, second appearance of Carol Danvers as Miss Marvel. And that one thing that makes this book actually pretty cool is that this is actually considered her origin story. So we all know that once first appearances get out of reach, people go to other things like second appearances or origins. Well, this one has that twofer, right? Where it's, because it's Miss Marvel 2, this is her second appearance as the character, and then it also has her origin story. Found this for a couple of dollars, so definitely something that I could see getting a little hotter when we get the second Captain Marvel movie, and for that reason, I picked it up. All right, a couple more books here. This one is interesting. This is Marvel Premiere featuring Doctor Strange #5. And what is the significance of this? Well, this is actually the first mention of the character Shumagorath. And now there's been a lot of talk recently and a new sort of rumor that's come out that Shumagorath might actually be the villain in Doctor Strange 2, which is really interesting. Again, I'm one of those people who believes it's probably going to be Mephisto. I'm also willing to believe that it could also very well be Nightmare, but there has been a lot of rumor that it might, in fact, be Shumagorath. Now, Marvel Premiere #10 is really the money book when it comes to Shumagorath, but this one right here does make mention of him, does talk about him as a character. And this book has also been kind of hot recently. So I thought it would be worth picking up, found it for a couple of dollars. And again, you never know with these types of things, could pop off. Shumagorath, interesting character to me. I'm a huge Lovecraftian fan. I love that type of stuff, and I think Shumagorath is cool for that. I would just be a little surprised if Marvel decided to pull out that character, because overall to me, what does it do for them? If they get Shumagorath on the table, he's just going to be a big bad threat, kind of like Dormammu, that they're just going to lock into a dimension come the end of the movie, and that's not really going to lead them anywhere. Whereas I think Nightmare and Mephisto have a lot more legs to stand on overall for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. All right, next one I got here, got two more here. This is Marvel 2-in-1, Thing and Spider-Man Annual #2. And what is the significance of this? This is actually the first appearance of the cosmic elders known as Lord Order and Master Chaos. So it's been my goal for a little while now to acquire all of the cosmic elder books. First Gardener, First Runner, Living Tribunal, Eternity, Ego, etc., etc. And I'm getting really close. I have almost all of them now. This was one of the last ones I needed, which was Lord Order and Master Chaos. Again, I have the supposition that we are going to continue to see these elders in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like the Grandmaster, like the Collector, etc. I think in the James Gunn universe, he's pulling these characters in there, and I think that there is definitely plot lines that can be done with Lord Order and Master Chaos. So for that reason, wanted to get my hands on this book. Not an easy one to find. This one, this is the first and only time I've ever seen this book ever. So. Definitely really cool that I came across it, and happy that I was able to pick it up. All right, last book I have right here. This one is a very, very cool one. This is actually going to be Paper Girls #1 first print. Now, a lot of you guys always make fun of me because I don't get indie books or DC books. I actually have a lot of indie books. In fact, I buy a lot of new comic books. I just don't make videos about the new comic books I get. I have Department of Truth. I have, Haha. I have whatever, Undiscovered Country and Crossover. I have all those books, but I just don't share them with you guys because I just don't think it's as interesting of content to talk about. But this one I do think is interesting, and that is going to be Paper Girls #1. We know that Paper Girls is getting a show coming out soon. I don't remember what network it's going to be on, but this was a great storyline. Kind of like, sort of in the vein of A Stranger Things, an all-female cast. Definitely a hot book. They're already doing casting. So this is one that I can see getting extremely hot in the market, especially once the show starts to come out where we get those trailers. So I was able to find this for $15. Thought that was a great deal. And definitely going to hold on to this one and wait till it gets really hot in the market. It's already pretty hot right now. Like, I'm checking those eBay prices and I'm seeing this book being sold around the $30, $35 range. So definitely something that I'm going to hold on to for the right moment and then cash in when I can. Anyways, that is all I have for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed my haul right there. Again, very cool books I got. I'm very excited that I have this Journey into Mystery 98. This is the favorite of the batch that I picked up. But yeah, that is all I have for this video. Drop me a like, comment, or subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I will see you in the next one.